Hey, Hope Community, Pastor Nathan here again. Just wanted to give you some updates, thoughts, and reflections on walking with God through COVID-19. So I just got another update from my brother in Grenada. He and his wife Susan live in Grenada. And I just wanted you to get a perspective on how it goes for other people in other parts of the world during what he calls lockdown. He said that in Grenada, there's a 2-week period where there's only been one day where you are allowed to go and get gas for your vehicles. They only have 2 shopping days per week where you could go for groceries or to the hardware store. Otherwise, everything is closed. The last shopping day that they went to, the wait at the major grocery store that they usually go to was 5 hours long. You had to wait in line to go into the store. So they decided to go to a smaller grocery store where they only had to wait 20 minutes. It didn't have everything, but at least they didn't have to wait 5 hours. And he said, for our information, none of the stores ran out of toilet paper. Just saying. So they have, he said, however, run out of meat. So they're short of meat. If you try to drive anywhere on a non-shopping day, so one of those 2 days of the week, the police will stop you at checkpoints and ask you, where are you going? Where are you going by? If you are not out on a medical emergency or doing something similar to that, you can be arrested or fined, and the fine is $750 US. That's a lot of money for a Grenadian. So far, they've had 12 cases where people have been arrested or fined. And they're hoping that's the end of it, that everyone else gets the idea that they're serious about it. Most people on the island are out of work with no idea of whether they will be paid. The government has vaguely talked about some relief for a few categories of workers, such as hotel and restaurant workers, but they don't know. And they have a school there, a parochial school, Christian school, kindergarten through 12th grade. And they don't know if their teachers are going to get paid. They're hoping they'll get some supplement so that they can cover the rest. And they're hoping school will be able to start again in May because they get some tuition. If school starts, they would not even be able to think about having the kind of thing where you have online education because not nearly enough people would have access to the computers or tablets or whatever they would need. So today's Maundy, Thursday, which is the day that the remembrances of the Last Supper of Jesus with the disciples. And tomorrow, I just want to invite you to our Facebook Live worship at 6 p.m., where we'll be celebrating communion and just sharing some thoughts and reflections about our passionate God. Which reminds me of a boyhood story. When I was young, maybe 7, 8 years old, there was a Good Friday service. And the rule in our house was, if you're not throwing up, you're not sick. So I was not feeling that well. I'm pretty sure I had a fever, but I was not throwing up. So I just kind of powered through and said, I can't prove that I'm sick, so I'm going to get dressed and go to church. And as the service went on, I started fading. And pretty soon before the end of the service, some woman in the church saw me kind of, and she laid me out on the pew, and I don't know what my temperature was. But just saying, for this time, if you even get close to feeling sick, even in the future after all this is over, probably a good idea to stay home. And parents, you might want to just think about some of those rules. I'm not saying you'd have the same rules that my parents did, but just think about some of the rules that you might have that maybe need some rethinking, that this time of going through a lot of time together at home might bring to mind. So look forward to see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. on Facebook Live. Pastor Nathan, see you next time. Goodbye.